Hey everybody, good evening. How are you all doing? Welcome to another OCS playoff match. I am Dan Tartaglione, also known as D Tartag1. Joining me tonight is the original OCS man himself, Mr. Chris Goglin. Actually, that's Hall of Famer Chris Goglin for you that are at home. Is it? I mean, I wouldn't blame you, but so we got a nice little match tonight, and actually this is a full match. It's going to be M.Kessling versus JNapolit31-WYS. If you're interested in watching the stand by, Chris. We can't hear you, but give me a second. I'll fix it. Oh, always. But yeah, we got a nice little match tonight. I forgot Garrett messes around with everything. So it's all Garrett. It's all Garrett's fault, everybody. So we have Chris Goglin, Hall of Famer Chris Goglin, who legally has changed his name to that. But tonight we have an exciting match. We have M.Kessling versus Jared Napolitano. And for those who haven't heard, this is a full-on advocate battle. Mike is the one of the current. He's the newest member of the Advocate Council, so congrats to Mike. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun match. So right now, though, we have Justin Desai versus MHT currently on Garrett's stream. If you're interested in that, feel free to tune into both. I mean, why not watch both at the same time? That's what the multi-Twitch is up for. And if you are interested in the Desai versus MHT match, they are currently playing Hunt Down versus Obi-Wan Commuting. That's I feel like almost a coin flip. One second, Chris. I don't know why. Because he turned it down. Okay, now we should be able to hear Chris. Yeah, again, Garrett messes with all my settings when he takes over.
Awesome. We'll just keep blaming Garrett. That's fine.
Everything's Garrett's fault.
It's always Garrett's fault.
It's Garrett's fault if the Phillies lost today. It's Garrett's fault if the Astros win. I don't know, like what else is going on, but yeah, Obi-Wan Commuting versus Hitco, and interesting enough, Justin is going with Walkling. I must be allowed to speak, and the helper effect. I can't believe he's gone, but looks like Mike and Jared are ready. Mike going with Dark Side, Jared, of course, going with Light Side. We got Bring Up a Formula versus Watch Your Step. So, Chris, you should know the match. Give us your intel on it.
I should know this one. Okay.
I mean, I feel like you should. You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
You're a better player than I am.
I'm supposed to know things, right? That's why you have me here. It's not just the pretty face.
Yeah, it's definitely not just the pretty face.
All right, so this Bring Up Before match, obviously, depending on which variant Mike is using here, we'll see by his starting effects in a second. You know, there's been some people out there with the quick draw of the Quietly Observing. There it is. Sorry, so this is going to be more of an Aura Thing, Arica sort of bonus to fluff up that character package a little bit. That's going to allow him to interact a little more and also allow him to be a little more defensive because he's going to get access to Shizor's Bounty.
Yeah,
as another defensive card. So,
but I mean, in this matchup where Jared is playing Watch Your Step, do you feel like the Shizor's Bounty is going to be important?
It is, because it's gonna give him another out. Basically, he's gonna lock down ground pretty well with this type of matchup. Jared's gonna go to space. He's gonna do Watch Your Step things with Kessel and I almost said Kessling run, but it's Kessel runs.
Why not both?
Yeah, I mean, let's see what's on the brain here. And then, Mike's going to have to sort of hit and run a little bit with what spaceships he has. Just maybe satisfy a battle plan for a turn or two. Try and do some evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he's got there. Or you could just, load it up in Emperor's Power and draw like 4 Battle Destiny in space. As
Now,
long as he's not at Tatooine, right? Maybe.
yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Mike is playing Emperor Palpatine or the new Emperor. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
I would think it's going to be it might be actually Emperor Force here, maybe, just to try and cycle through some more cards. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. I already ate. So, but thank you. No, I mean I like the newer Emperor, especially in this matchup because your force isn't limited.
Hmm.
So like once Jared flips, I mean you go from having activating 2 force at the Death Star throne room, you'll go down to 1. I mean you'll have the Emperor out, but that's one
Right.
less force. And if you're playing like the bridge, a lot of other 2 O's or 1 O or whatever O's, well 2 O's, yeah. I mean
Yeah.
your activation just goes down by a little bit.
And it could be a good meta call if that's what he's suspecting, but
Oof. And
it
it's
is
Emperor
the
Palpatine.
it is OG Emperor. Obviously, I guess not expecting Watch Your Step perhaps, and it is a traditional Watch Your Step. It looks like from the start. He's got the new I Must Be Allowed to Speak Smuggler's Blues combo. So we're going to see Corran Horn and those types of and Mara, as opposed to more of like the Lando, Han, Chewie stuff on the ground that we used to see from Watch Your Step. This is more of the modern Watch Your Step these days.
And there's an accelerate to go get the blockade flagship site. I'm assuming he's going to go pull the bridge.
Yeah,
So I
and
mean,
that'll be a thing too. If you can get some activation going the first couple turns before Jared can flip.
ooh, and he's going hard right to the cantina with Count Dooku.
Dooku's a tough guy for Watch Your Step to interact with because
Yeah.
you battle them and you have your options. You can force lightning to take a guy out of battle, or you can just force push and take somebody out of battle. Obviously, he doesn't have the force for force push, but Jared's also not coming down with anything super heavy turn 1.
No. I mean, he might. I mean, we do know that Mike just took a Force Lightning from hand, so he's already got one, just in case if Jared does. But I think if he comes down with, like, say, a Luke, it's possible. But, I mean, he would have to have Luke. The only problem with that is Dooku's immune to attrition less than 8 against a Jedi.
Right, and most Watch Your Steps these days are running Luke Last Jedi, who can't deploy to a site
True.
that's occupied.
I mean, I've seen a little bit of Watcher Steps running Luke Rebel Scout, who's particularly good. I mean, he
Sure.
makes you use one force to swing his lightsaber or fire
Right.
any weapons.
Right.
But, I mean, he doesn't do anything else.
He does not. And, unless he's got Luke and the lightsaber all together in his opening hand, which would be impressive.
I mean, if he has.
Dooku's not afraid of that guy.
No. I mean, the one he might be afraid of is Luke with lightsaber.
And EPP Luke, he's even that one's still not scary because of the possibility that, Dooku's drawing 2 Battle Destiny. He's going to Emperor's Power to get a second draw. He's not taking overflow.
I mean, yeah, you would get the second draw. I mean, but if Jared is able to hit Dooku, he's only immune to attrition less than 6 against an EPP Luke.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little bit better for Jared, but still, Mike putting a lot of pressure onto Jared with this early turn Dooku is just very favorable for Mike.
It's a good start. Obviously, turn 2 will probably be activate, drain, and then draw a bunch of cards, but still worth getting the start and getting that going.
Okay, so Jared is doing Watcher Steps things. There's Corellia V going down. He did take it with his objective, so no Kessel just yet. He's going to deploy a Reflections 2 location and get himself the Mos Eisley V.
And that's the other thing too now with these, extra battlegrounds that Watcher Step is deploying between Corellia, between Mos Eisley, that they traditionally didn't have in their deck. Flipping doesn't hurt the dark side as much because you've given him 2 icons here and you're going to give him 2 more from Kessel. So it's like, great, you flip, but you take away your opponent's extra icons, but you've given them 4 yourself. So
yeah, I mean, once Jared does flip right now, Mike would go down from 14 to 12, which I mean, he's getting 2 from his Dark Jedi. He's getting the extra 1 from Security Precautions V. I'm assuming it's V. I don't think it actually is.
No, I think it's
yeah.
It's the original for just in case he was playing Hidden Base.
I don't know. Would you put Jared on Hidden Base?
I mean, if you're not really running, more than 1 or 2 ships and you're not afraid of space weapons, what's the other version doing for you? Because it just prevents you from being hit, right? So in a match play type situation, a hidden base potential lockout is one of the worst things that can happen to you. So
Mm-hmm.
But some
Okay, so we,
interesting chat going on about, which emperor, people switching emperors out based on Watch Your Step. And Watch Your Step does have a little bit of popularity online these days. You don't see it so much in live
well,
tournaments right now, but
I mean, look at so Jared did just draw up to 14 cards. He saved 2, played Battle Plan. I'm assuming, yes, there's the drain from Dooku, but
yeah,
look at Ryan Gilson. He played it at Worlds. He made a
he,
top 8 with it. He
he
is
did.
teammates with Jared, so I mean, kind of
Hmm.
makes sense there. Chris Worth just played it in the OCS as well. So it's not like it's not
Right.
a known deck.
No. It's a solid deck. It's not certainly one that you see a lot, but when you see someone playing it, you're not surprised. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jared did play this at our regional 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
whatever it was. So this is probably the same or very similar deck, which may
He,
or may not be good for him if Mike
mm-hmm.
happened to look at that deck list in preparation for this event and be like, what's Jared going to play? Well, last week he played this.
That's a good point. Okay, so we see that Mike did drain. Jared lost an escape pod. We're doomed from his hand, as well as Talon Card. Card is a pretty important character for Watch Your Step. He gives your guys extra defense value, extra forfeit. I mean, he's a pretty good smuggler, and if you deploy him to Tatooine, you get to take a use pile pool.
Hmm. There's always the possibility too that some versions, Talon Card being an important guy, could be 2 copies of him, could be a
Mm-hmm.
guy you Jedi Lev back later. Maybe he's got an Unita. So there's options here to get Talon Card back into play.
And the other thing is, like you said, once he gets Kessel out, starts the Kessel run, he'll be able to retrieve some force. But again,
Hmm.
he's not going to want to lose a lot to the strain at the Cantina.
Nope. But Mike does, as we suspected, reload his hand quite well too. So he's going
Yes.
to have plenty of options, and he's also got Wipe activating extra force for him. So Mike's well positioned here for the start of the game. Now it's going to be up to Jared to see what type of setup, flipping, damage, and stuff he can get through. And does Mike have any of his ships? Because Jared is
That's
most
the
likely going to go
yeah.
to space.
So Jared does use his objective to try and take Corellia or Kessel out of his reserve deck. He does miss, so Mike gets a verify. So I think that could be big, being that Jared missed the pool. I don't know if he missed the pool or if he was just checking. Well, just make sure he had something in his deck there. But giving Mike a verify is not the best thing.
Free information for your opponent is never really a good thing that you want to give them, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it's Watch Your Step. There may not, unless he's got any trick cards that he didn't want to give away.
I mean, I've seen people play Cantina Brawl. That could be a
Mhm.
big blowout card.
That it could be for sure, and that is one of those cards that tends to slide in. You've got 50 to 55 of the cards are probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
Is it one of those little spicy season cards that maybe he just got a reveal of? But at the same time, also, Jared needs to make sure he matches up a ship that he can, and
Exactly.
if that means giving your opponent a peek, so be it.
Okay, and Jared does match up his ship. He plays Dash Rendar in the Outrider. Rio Durant joins him as a pilot. So now it is a power, I believe, 8 ship.
Hmm.
And currently only drawing 1 Destiny, immune to attrition lesson 4. Again, once Mike gets out his a useless gesture shield, that the ship gets a lot stronger.
It does get a boost as he starts stacking cards. Not so great right off the bat, but
No.
yeah. And Jared does also, activate 2 extra force with Rio's text as well there. So
Mm-hmm. And I think Jared might be a little cautious here, just because again, giving Mike 2 more force with Kessel it might not be what he wants to do.
I mean, your opponent's got 13 cards in his hand. He just got 4 lums, so he's starting to move some stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always the possibility that Mike just activates 14, well 12 now, but he was activating 14 force, and then the first card he could play out of hand would be force push, and now it's like go
Mm-hmm.
pick whatever you want out of 15 cards.
And Jared goes down with Corn Horn down to Moss Eisley. So he gets a second smuggler. He gets another smuggler out at a battlegrounds site.
Hmm.
Again, it doesn't have to be a battleground site. It can be 2 systems. As long as you occupy 2 battlegrounds with smugglers, you will flip. And now if he can occupy, as long as he occupies 2 battlegrounds, he'll stay flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So Jared is taking a card from his use pile. He's going to have 11 cards to pick from. If you're Jared, what are you looking for?
Either something defensively to protect Cornhorn, like a dodge that maybe, or a Hoojix or something like that to keep him, or a second guy to go with Cornhorn to help him out. Somebody who also cycles a card, because, you know, Mirax, well, talent card's already lost, or Mara would also get you another use pile pull, so you can start to cycle that a little bit. Or you're looking for, if you're missing Kessel, if you're missing Kessel Run, something to get that set up to start getting the retrieval going.
Yeah. And the other thing is, once he accomplishes the Kessel Run, he's gonna, if he's playing Kira, he'll get pings, which is really good. I think Lebo does the same kind of thing.
Yeah, if you complete the Kessel Run, he starts to do some additional damage.
Yeah, and like Lando becomes really good because, I mean, you can bounce him to your hand at any point. So there's a lot he can do. And Talon card to the docking bay, interesting.
There's a second Talon card. Look at that.
And there's a second use pile pool with I Must Be Allowed to Speak and Smuggler Blues. So, I mean, we were a little surprised by Jared playing this Watch Your Step just because not a top meta deck. However, were you at all surprised to see Mike playing Bring Him Before Me?
I knew what he was playing, so I haven't seen his exact list, but I mean, Mike said, you know, hey, I locked in my deck list. I'm playing deck A and deck B, and we were all like, good luck, buddy.
Okay, so Jared will move the Outrider over to Tatooine. This could put like it's a hit into play to cancel that drain.
It does, and it does, you know, obviously Control Tunnel Vision is a commonly played card. It's a commonly played card. The objective is flipped now, so even if Mike has like a sense, he can't cancel it. He's not allowed to play it, so.
And the other thing is moving to Tatooine keeps the Outrider a little bit safer because now, unless Mike has like Maul and Sith Infiltrator or any independent or Trade Federation starships, he's only going to get 1 Destiny there, so he can't just rely on like the Intimidator and the Persecutor here.
Nope. Now, obviously, he could just ignore that and go to Corellia and then set up his own stuff to get around battle plan. But this deck wants to battle, though. He wants to be initiating battles. He wants to win battles. And we could potentially see that alternate win condition of crossing Luke come into play as an option. For Mike here.
Which would be very fun. Okay, Mike is using We Must Accelerate Our Plans. He's going to use 3 Force to get an effect. I think First Strike is the one that I would be looking for here.
First Strike or Blast door controls. Either one would probably be. Yep, he's going to grab the Blast door. Yep.
And yep, you called it. Blast door controls coming down.
Barrier's a real concern, and you know, Comm Scan cancels dodge. So if Jared is relying on that for that lone Cornhorn just hanging out there by himself.
Well, I think he's going to go after Talent card just because Karn doesn't draw any Destiny on his own.
No.
No?
Oh yeah, no, that's what I agree. Yeah, he's that's definitely the site he would go after first. I mean, Fallen Portal's always a possibility at the docking bay, but
yeah,
you know, it's not something we commonly see these days.
And we have Nick in the chat saying the Blast door controls also gets rid of Blast the Door Kid, which is a pretty good card. See a lot of people play it in their Watcher Steps. Okay, Newt Gunray going down in front of Cornhorn. Arsene going down in front of Talon card.
Could potentially be battling in both spots here.
Yeah, he's got 4/4 saved. And then that would flip Jared back if he can get rid of these smugglers here.
And he'd have to pay to drain a Tatooine, which he's not going to do.
Yeah, nobody drain. You should not. A wise player once said, if you're paying 3 to drain for 1, you're going to lose the game.
Now the question is where are you going to battle first?
I think the correct one is to battle with Cornhorn first. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I don't know. I actually don't know. But he does battle against Corn Horn first with Nuke Gunray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he had first strike, obviously that would have been a lot different, but
Yeah.
just making sure the battle gets through with the blast door controls, I think is more important in this situation.
And I'm not really sure I like Jared playing the Goldenrod shield here. I mean, yes, Blizzard Fort is a thing, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
like I would rather have secret aim high, or I'm not sure.
All right, he is going to try and dodge Corrin away. That's an interesting move.
I like the dodge from Corn to where Talon Card is, and the main reason is now both of them. I mean, both have defense value +2, plus a lot to
Yeah,
their
but
forfeit value.
or can still battle and a lone
Yes.
Talon card. Is he going to play a second dodge? Is he going to play the dodge out of his lost pile? It's unique, so he
Well, yeah, I
can.
was gonna say it's unique, so he can't.
So
A fallen portal would be good though.
it could be. He's got to draw a 3, which isn't too bad to do. Potentially
No.
4 if Dark Time comes into play. But yeah,
There's the useless gesture V and secret plans.
Mhm. Yeah, Mike chose not to grab the dodge, which I think is the right play there.
Okay, so Cornhorn is not in the battle. So Talent Card versus Arsing. Arsing's going to attempt to shoot Talent Card here.
Not the easiest guy to hit, but
I believe that's a miss.
yeah, should miss.
But he's
Ooh.
going to get another Destiny with Jabba's through with you. So we could be seeing like 3 Destiny here.
We can find out if Jared's got that Gick. Or that Hujix.
Well, I
You'd
was
like
going
to
to say,
believe
if
he
he
does.
wouldn't have the Gick here, he would have the Hojiks.
Yeah, you got to believe he's got that if the way he's leaving these guys apart.
Okay, I've got a really good feeling. I don't see a lot of that card being played. I've got a really good feeling about this. It's going to allow him to draw a card. Interesting.
Draw a card from reserve deck.
Now,
That seems like a desperate move.
that does, but at the same time, he has the escape pod combo in his lost pile, so he could easily just play it to go get the Hojiks.
He could. He could.
And he hasn't used his once per turn play a card from your lost pile with the objective.
And he's not going to either.
And he so Mike draws a 1 for his first battle destiny and draws a 5 for the second one, bringing his total up to 10.
That's not bad. He'll stack a card and
It's not bad, but I think Talon Card covers it.
Yeah. Talon card does forfeit for 8, so.
Yeah. He'll lose Blast the Door Kid from his hand. So good call by Mike playing the Blast Door controls.
Mm-hmm.
And there goes another Talon card to the lost pile. That is the second one that he's lost this game. But good for Mike, or good for Jared, that Mike missed on the shot.
If he had hit him, obviously, we think Jared plays this a little differently. Probably does, like you say, run the escape pod combo, or just has the Hojiks in hand already.
Yeah.
Which he's just thankful he doesn't have to use this time around.
And Dooku moves over to the docking bay.
Interesting.
I mean, we could see like a force. If we see it, we could see a force lightning here to flip Jared back. Or Singh moves into the cantina.
Okay. Yeah, or is the least likely character to have an issue because of the quietly observing.
Yes, agreed.
And he's going to activate the one with wipe. He can pull the fanfare shield if he needs to, if he doesn't already have the immediate effect.
But Jared is going to be able to drain for free this turn. However, he's first going to play all. He's going to activate and then play all wings combo. Interesting.
I guess he's looking for something he can match. He wants to find a ship and a guy and see what's in there that he can piece together.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if he had like the wild card here, he can easily just get off the ground. That would save him. I mean,
Would be another option for sure. I was just going to say, obviously, if Kessel's one of the bottom 2 cards he's been saving for interrupts and stuff like that, that could be a backbreaker for Jared. And he might have to burn a control tunnel vision for it, which would be terrible.
Yeah. And I think if you're Mike, I think that's the card you grab. Like, that's the card that most people grab in this match against Watcher Step at this point.
I'm in favor of grabbing it very early in the game as the game progresses.
Mike's going to grab an all wings combo. Interesting.
I'm less of a fan of grabbing.
And Jared misses on the pool.
Interesting. That's a double whammy.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, you want to see what's in your reserve deck and all that. But it would make more sense to do it before you activate.
If you're trying to piece together a ship, yes, you take a ship, and then you obviously just use, well, he doesn't have anything else he can peek with.
Yeah.
The objective's flipped now, so he would just have to blind squadron assignments and hope he gets the right thing.
Yeah.
I guess he was trying to be a little cute with it, and it burned him a little bit there.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of banter between our two players. Jared does drain. Mike loses a lower ball with lightsaber off the top of his deck. Not a good card to lose.
I'm sure he's got more.
I would say maybe at least 2 more.
Seems reasonable. He's a pretty strong character. And he's got Trade Federation.
He does.
Maybe that works to Mike's benefit. Maybe Mike's sitting on no escape in hand, and he's like, yes.
Okay, so Jared is going to deploy Luke out of his deck, though.
Now, that's the other strange thing. If he's playing, that Luke, the Last Jedi, the only place he can go is to the first light bar. Yeah. Because Luke can't deploy to a site opponent occupies.
Yeah.
Now, if he's got Rebel Scout, that's a different
story. If he's got
a
different Luke, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Rebel Scout makes the most sense. Maybe, outside of that...
Nope. Oh, it is. Okay.
Okay, so he's going to go down Rebel Scout against R. Singh. And here's the thing, though. Mike doesn't have any force saved.
He does not.
So he's not going to be able to shoot with R. Singh here. So... And I don't think Mike already used wipe them out all in this turn to activate one. So I think grabbing the card might have definitely hurt Mike.
It gave Jared an opportunity here to try and do some stuff and flip the tempo of the game a little bit. Obviously, Aura can't shoot, but
Two Destiny is the thing.
He can still draw 2 Battle Destiny. Yeah.
Nia Nub, the Solistanian or Solistane Smuggler coming down as well. Pretty good. He's a fun card.
Excellent artwork.
I can't wait for the AI to come out. Captain Lando Calrissian going down as well, so that's going to give Jared to a Battle Destiny.
And he's got plenty of forfeit that way. Okay. 4-Lom probably going to get popped here.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, 4-Lom can't shoot either.
Nope.
I mean, it's just the little things here. Jared also up double on Mike and power.
Yeah, I mean, power's not going to be too terrible of a concern because there's no weapons here, and these guys cover 8 and forfeit value. The question's going to be is if Jared does battle, which he's likely to.
Yeah, Mike could have used 4-Lom before anything happens.
Who is he forfeiting?
That's the question I don't know.
Because if you leave Luke and one guy there, and he's got Vader in hand, now Luke gets captured, and that one lone guy.
Yep.
Might
so he's gonna go get an exchange. I've got a really good feeling about this with a card in his reserve deck. Or no, he's going to go get. I've got a really good feeling about this in his reserve deck.
Okay. He can draw another card if he wants to.
I mean. I don't. I mean, I like it. It's cute, but what is it doing?
He can recirculate. He can activate a force.
Okay, Mike does add a Destiny with the Emperor's Power.
He lost a Phantom Menace to do it, though.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. K2S2, K2SO as Battle Destiny. Don't see a lot of him being played, and a few maneuvers. That's definitely going to get rid of both those characters. And
the only spy Watcher Step can play.
Yeah.
Well, now you got Corran Horn, but
I mean, you can play. I mean, you can play them. Ooh, Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith for Mike,
You're almost better off wishing you had just drawn the one destiny.
and Sando Aqua Monster. So that is only going to get rid of one character here.
Right.
I think if you're Mike, or I think if you're Jared, you lose Luke because you can just replay him. No, he's going to lose Knee and Nub.
Now, we've seen him draw 2 Vaders for Destiny the last 2 turns, and I don't think
True.
he shuffled in between, so we'd like to
Yeah.
believe those are different Vaders.
And the other thing is, Mike actually is going to have to lose a card here.
He will have to lose a Force.
Yeah.
Yep. He loses another Maul off the top, so there goes the second Maul now.
Yeah. And there goes our Sing and Forlom. So yeah, I think Jared's going to move Corn Horn and just draw some cards and pass turn. Now
Yeah.
that you think about it, I mean, Luke, limiting the amount of force that Mike can do, like now, is he going to drain at Mos Eisley for 2? Is he going to deploy somebody? I mean, the best thing for him to do is come down with like a Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, capture Luke, choke one of the smugglers, preferably Corn Horn, and force Jared to use the Hojiks.
That would be the ideal scenario. But the Newt Gunray drain is actually only 1 because it's -1 if the opponent has a smuggler in the cantina.
Well, that's even worse then.
Yeah. So not going to see Mike drain this turn, but you are going to see Mike try and pick a spot to go battle somebody for sure.
Yeah, Mike going to use Force Push, go get a card out of his Force pile, and he's going to put 2 back. So, I mean, he's going to have 13 Force to work with now.
Vader only costs 6.
Vader does only cost 6.
Vader plus a friend, like maybe Kylo Ren or somebody who's got a built EPP, a P-59, somebody with a built-in weapon.
Yeah.
Could definitely clean some house here.
I mean, because like, there's so many ways for Mike to clear out one of these smugglers here, and just do a lot of damage. And there's Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, going to capture Luke. So yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of a battle. We're going to see a battle here. Jared only has 2 cards left. RC coming down as well.
I think in this case you just choke Lando and call it a day. Take your.
I think you go after Corn Horn, like. You check with the Emperor for a Force Lightning, see what your destiny are. Then you see who you want to choke. Okay, Jared gonna go get a card with Lando. Mike does initiate.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I would choke Lando just to try and make sure, because you have more 4s in your deck than you probably have just 5s.
I mean, he's running. We must accelerate our plans. That's a 5.
Mm-hmm. There's 5s in the deck for sure, but
there's 5s in the decks. I mean,
there's probably also a handful of other interrupts that are 4, so you're opening up more opportunities for things you can do.
Okay, so he's probably running like 1 or 2 force field.
Mm-hmm. Force fields, Sith Fury, a Dark Time.
I know that Chris is right. I know Chris is right, but I want to be greedy. I want to see greed.
I mean, sometimes you got to go big or go home, right?
See, he would have worked. I mean, hindsight, it obviously is 2020, but I'm just saying.
Assuming he doesn't have their tracking us to subtract 1.
Yeah.
Which in this case wouldn't do anything. You take him out of the equation, now it's 10-5.
I know.
You take a shot at Corn Horn, you draw a second Destiny. 1 battle Destiny alone is not, unless he draws that a few maneuvers again.
I know.
You just win a second battle, stack another card, and.
Well, I mean, the few maneuvers is going to get rid of Vader.
If he draws it.
If he draws it. I mean, Jared needs to draw a 6 here to get rid of Vader.
Mm-hmm. And Aura can obviously still hit here, so.
Yeah. And, I mean. Okay, so Jared is going to play an interrupt from Lost Pile here. He's going to play Dodge. That will subtract 3. It does get stacked on a useless gesture. And Vader's Anger to cancel the Dodge.
I was going to say Comm Scan that, but Vader's Anger does it as well.
Why not? I mean, they both do the same thing, and they're both really strong cards. Weapon Destiny is going to be a 5. That's going to hit Corn Horn.
This could be rough if Jared.
This could be very rough. I mean, I didn't like the dodge play because unless he's got the Hojix in his hand.
He's going to be forced to play it here. I think. I'm assuming the way he's played this game, he's had it the whole time. He's
Yeah.
just finally going to actually be forced to play it.
And I have you now to add another Battle Destiny. So Mike's drawing 3 to Jared's 1.
This is Mike swinging for the fences, saying
Yeah.
if Jared doesn't have it, this could be game right here.
Okay, he draws a 5. So that was 3 5s in a row, by the way. Okay, a 1.
An EPP Vader, interesting.
EPP, yeah. And a 5. So pretty good Destiny for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings his total up to 21. Let's see, Jared draws a 3. Okay, so it's going to be 21 to 8.
Stack of cards.
Stack a card. Our thing's going to go lost. Orin Holler's going to go lost, and then we see if it's game or not. I mean, it's only 13 force, obviously, like, but
It would be half of his remaining life force.
yeah.
And then you start thinking about ways to, deal additional damage. He's also going to get flipped back here, which may actually help him if he's been missing out on that Kessel.
Jared will stack an all wings report in and Dark Litter spin from his hand. Okay, so Aura does go lost. There goes Corn Horn. The objective flips back. And we have the Hojix.
Yeah.
Combo Hojix.
Which is why he couldn't pull it. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little confused for that fact. Like, normally you see people play Escape Pod combo, Escape Pod, and We're Doomed to get the just Hojix. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of times you see the combo Hojix, unless you're. I mean, the only time you would run like Escape Pod and We're Doomed is if your opponent, if you're thinking your opponent's going to play something like
Shadow Collective with
Shadow
You'll
Collective,
Be Dead, which,
TTO.
Yeah.
TTO is up Mike's, like, he plays that a lot. And the other one is Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mike's going to go put down Do or Do Not from his under his shield. Plays He's the Best Smuggler Around to pull out the Kessel Run. So I think it is time that he starts up this Kessel Run here.
And it is possible, too. If Jared does not have Kessel, he could have burned Walkling here to get the Hojix back. Just spend that bottom force. Yeah. If we're thinking that's where Kessel's been stuck.
Okay, and Mike's going to lose 1 to his objective. He loses Simaloo off the top.
Oh, no, not Simaloo. That's an interesting card, too. That guy doesn't...
He's so fun. He's good. He's a good card. He's underplayed.
He can really get some extra
Jared
juices flowing.
Misses the objective pool again.
He must have the Corellia, the Kessel in hand, and now he's just... Now he's just trying to find a ship he can pair up, whether it's the Pulsar Skate or the Falcon.
And again, Mike, once Jared flipped back to the 0 side of his objective, he gets the 2 extra activation that he lost back.
Man, so he's going to stick around for long.
He's going to have 15 force to work with next turn.
He is, only because Castle's coming out, because Jared's probably going to flip right back.
Yeah. And there's the Millennium Falcon. He flashes it with Squadron Assignment.
Yep.
There's the Millennium Falcon going down to Corellia. He does flip back. Han Solo is piloting the Millennium Falcon. However, he's not getting a Battle Destiny.
And barrier. No, just kidding.
I would actually laugh. Like, I'm one of those players, I love doing that to somebody. Like, they play their key thing at a position. They know that they're gonna move it. You play the barrier just to mess with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Why be good at Star Wars when you control?
Jared's just drawing.
Yeah, that's a surprise. So
I
mean,
okay.
Okay, there's a see you around kid.
Kessel's the bottom card.
Kessel's wow.
He doesn't have the Kessel. He's the bottom card of his force pile the whole game.
Yeah, you know what? I hate to say it, this is advocate luck at its finest. And funny enough, again, this is an advocate battle.
Well, he should have it now.
Yeah.
And now you have to start thinking, if you're Mike, you're getting 13 force. Han doesn't do much in space. He saved 3 force.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Chewie deploys as a react for 3, does he not?
Chewie does. Jared's going to go play another shield.
They deploy
Play
as a react
a high.
-2. Yeah, so Chewie would deploy for -2, so that's a possibility.
Yep.
You're thinking if you're Mike, like, do I pay to drain for 2 in the cantina? Do I pay to drain for 2 with Newt Gunray? It's going to depend on what else he's got to
I
do
kind
anything
of
with.
like doing the easy force. Like Mike or Jared's not going to drain. If he does, it would only be a drain of 1-1. Nope, he's going to go down hard with Lando or Lord Maul in the Sith Infiltrator.
If he has a card to cancel a react,
Yeah,
this could be pretty
Kira, the
impressive.
top lieutenant, coming down. One of the cards that is the bane of my existence.
She's going to satisfy all battle damage because she's at the same location as
Yeah,
Han, so.
yeah.
But now we're going to see if he's got the react, and
I mean, he's got 5 cards in his hand. If he has a react card here, I mean, the thing is, Jared has to use the 3 force first, and he wouldn't be able to play the Hojix here. Okay, he's gonna play a card. He's gonna play the Hojix and out of nowhere to get the Battle Destiny. So he's not gonna react with Chewie.
he
Mike's
doesn't have
getting another Battle Destiny with the effect,
he doesn't have it.
and there's the moving to attack position.
Okay.
So the Falcon's immune to attrition, but
So is the
Jared's
infiltrator.
only getting they're both immune to attrition. But the thing is, Mike is getting 2 Destiny into Jared's 1. 5 for the first Destiny for Mike, bringing his total up to 9, and a 4 for 13. So we might actually see him stack another card. Like Jared would have to pull a 6 out of his hat to.
Yep, could stack a card, lose 1 or 2,
Yeah.
and then very likely run away.
I mean, he draws a 4, so yeah, he would lose 2 and stack a card, so he's essentially losing 3 cards here.
So far, going pretty well for Mike.
If your team Mike, yeah, it's going pretty well.
Right. The safe play here for Mike would probably be to cloak after this. You don't necessarily need to, because again, you're decent power, you're immune to attrition. Kira's going to cover everything, so you don't need to do that in the situation.
Jared's going to lose Luke, Rebel Scout, and a few maneuvers off the top of his reserve deck.
For those of you keeping life force counts at home, if you can't see, Darkside has 21 down. 24 down plus 5 in hand. Light side has 20 down plus 8 in hand.
So still a fairly close game, but right now, based on board position, Mike is slightly ahead. However, with him moving Dooku over, I mean, it's giving Jared places to go down to the ground.
It is, but Newt wasn't really going to hang out there too long by himself anyway.
No.
And now
now that Jared's flipped again.
Yeah, and now he's solidified those 2 drains of 2.
And with Maul and Sith Infiltrator up there, Jared really doesn't have the ability to go and do anything against that. Now, he might just decide to move the Outrider over there because it is getting a +2 to attrition, and I believe +2 to power.
It's +2 to everything, power, maneuver, and immunity. So it's actually up to, maneuver 5, immunity less than 6.
So yeah, I would move it over there. And the other thing is, if he saves enough force, he can still play the moving to attack position again from his lost pile.
He certainly could.
Which would then up his power by another 1.
Right.
And plus the +2 from that, so he'd actually be power 13, 2 Destiny, fully immune. So I mean, to me, it seems like the play is blocking that drain. Make Mike, come to you.
And I think Mike would just run away.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mike would just run away from Dash. He doesn't necessarily. If Han moves away, if Han stays there, well, you don't care about power then because you just lose Kira.
Yeah.
And you take how many of those guys with you?
It depends on if Jared plays the moving to attack position. LRS Medaka going down onto the Falcon.
Now he's got 2 smugglers, so he'll get 2 Battle Destiny there, and there's Mara going to the ground, getting a use pile pull. It's the thing, though, too, if he plays the Kessel run, he's got to stack like 4 or 5 cards typically.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think I've seen the lowest I've ever seen is like 2. The highest I've ever seen is like 6.
Yeah.
Okay. For all those who are watching this game and not following along with Garrett, looks like it's still a fairly close game in Hunt Down versus Obi Commuting. And I'm not really sure what variant of Obi Commuting Justin is playing, so still looks like it's a fairly close game.
Today, the role of Carissa Thompson will be played by Dan Tartaglione.
I don't get it.
They always do those NFL game breaks. That's who they was cut away to. Is Carissa Thompson back in the studio, and she gives you an update on another game.
Now I got you.
I know it's a bit of a stretch.
It's been a long day.
All right, so he revealed Mirax, did not find the ship, plays Kessel. He checked the Destiny to see exactly what he had in there to work with. Now the Kessel run's going to come out.
Draws a 4.
By the way, for those of you watching at home, playing something like a Dark Time to subtract from the Destiny number here doesn't actually do anything that affects the total, so just save it. Don't waste your card.
Unless you're playing against somebody like myself or Chris Gogolin. Didn't play it. There's Melos. So that's 6. And that's going to do it. 3 cards.
A relatively unprotected.
So Jared, yeah, in the chat points out it's his lucky day. I don't know. Like, who's your baseball team, Chris?
I don't watch baseball anymore.
I'll say no more because I'm not gonna mention anything else. Mike's saying it could have been more of a walk than a run. Yeah, I would say that was definitely a pretty good run there for Jared, pulling off a 7 off the top to complete the Destiny draw.
Yep.
Moves
now we can have. Yep. Put one of those cards back, and then next turn technically could complete it, but he's got to leave all the force to do it if he wants to retrieve.
Yeah. So he's not going to move Dash in the Outrider.
Nope. Doesn't need to.
No, I mean, the other thing is, like, it is only a drain of 1, and I like the possibility of canceling the drain with It's a Trap.
Yeah, you've got It's a Hit to cancel one of the drains. You've got Control Tunnel Vision to cancel a drain. He could mitigate some of the most of the force loss here.
Mm-hmm. There's It's a Hit. Mike does not have a grabber, so it's going to go through. Mm-hmm. And Sense cannot. He can't play Sense to use to cancel it. Mm-hmm. Drain at the Cantina. Does Jared have another trick up his sleeve?
No Control Tunnel Vision. Okay.
Nope. There goes Luke the Last Jedi and an Obi-Wan Kenobi V. Drain for 1 at Corellia. And there goes K2SO off the top of the reserve deck.
Solid turn for Mike. Being able to at least get some of those drains through and not have both tricks. And now he's got 15 force to work with to get rid of Mara.
I mean, Jared saved 3. This tells me that he's got It's a Trap. And Mike getting out Erica, who I believe will allow Mike to start retrieving cards.
She's present at a battleground, and Luke is not because he's a captive, right? So
yeah. Applik coming down in front of Mara.
That'll work.
Get yourself 2 Destiny just from Applik.
Mm-hmm. And if he avoids the battle somehow, if they counter battle into you, you get to retrieve a card.
Yeah. Sith Probe Droid, so here we go. We might see that alternate win condition that you were talking about.
That could be interesting. Could be spicy.
Yeah. Life force total does not matter for your against your opponent. Mike does initiate with Applic.
In my very long playing career, I've seen a few people win that duel with like 3 or 4 cards left to their name.
There's the It's a Trap.
Does he have a canceller? No canceller.
No canceller.
Okay.
It's a Trap goes to the lost pile. Mara will stick around for another turn. Now, if you're Mike, do you move Vader over now, giving up the Cantina?
Yeah.
He's going to.
He's going to start dueling, trying to do some additional points of damage and potentially cross him.
Yeah, because unlike Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, you don't get the -3 from this Luke.
No, all you have to do is lose the duel and then draw 4 and game over.
Yep.
Well, that's not a way
That's
to start.
not going to lose you the duel. That might
yeah.
cause the duel for Mike to win, which will cause, what, 3 points of damage?
Cause 3 more force loss,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Not,
Not happening today.
not gonna do it.
Yeah. So Mike will win the duel. Round 1 goes to the dark side. Jared has to lose 3. Now, Jared's going to be able to do some damage here, though. He's going to be able to drain for what looks like at least 2.
Yeah, I don't see Applek moving here because they wouldn't have enough force for upkeep unless he wants to just pitch him. But Jared's got 3 cards in his hand, so
you might just want to pitch him.
I'm okay, honestly, with leaving Applek there. He draws 1, possibly 2 destiny. You
That's
can
true.
retrieve a card for doing it.
The 7 goes onto the reserve or the use pile for Jared.
He's going to track to that, I guess.
Yep, there's resistance.
Mike has to do a little math now. If he has a Gick or something in his hand, he's safe. Also, the potential, if he's going to lose 3 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, he could just lose 3 cards from reserve deck and get right back down to those juicy destinies. You know, the 4.
I was going to say, do you want to get the lower destinies or the higher destinies if you're Mike?
I mean, if Mara's going to battle into Applek, you want those higher destinies for, not taking overflow and clearing people.
She's forfeit value 9 right now, which is insane.
She is, but if you draw 7/5, that's 12.
True. It looks like Applek is going to stick around. Mike does have to lose 1.
Yep, lose the card from the used pile. Excellent.
Yep, he lose the Sith Infiltrator from the use pile. So, the life force counts are 20 for Mike and 14 for Jared. Mike with 5 cards in hand, Jared with 3. However, again, we know that Jared's about to retrieve 4 force.
He is, and the card that's left over there is Melas, so he can take it into hand with Han and then deploy it with Mara. But it does not look like that's going to be the approach he's going to take.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that.
He could throw Melas down to the Cantina, move Mara over. Then it's a drain of 1. The drains that Mike would be doing are just 1s.
The other side effect of that silly card we've been talking about does allow you to recirculate.
Oh, the.
I've got a good feeling about this, right? Yeah. It does allow him to recirculate, so.
Jared will drain for 2 at Kessel. And then he'll drain for 1 at Tatooine.
Jared got back a bunch of low destiny cards, too. Control Tunnel Vision, Perimeter Scan, It's a Trap, and K2.
And K2, yeah. There goes a 5 off the top for Mike. Mike at 17, Jared at 18 now. So, funny how 1 turn just kind of flip-flops everybody. This is the turn where, Lando coming down would be good because he can, going down, blocking the drain in front of Mara. Maybe you do want to get rid of Mara. Jade just here. But again, he's only got 10 force. He's got nothing in his reserve deck. So.
Right. He would have to have the interrupt to do it. there may be one in the lost pile. Oh, Mirax is going to get him a use pile pull, so
Yeah. And this is where I kind of like moving the Falcon to Tatooine and then moving the Outrider to block the drain at Corellia.
could also be an option, although you give up your Kessel Drain to do that.
Yes, I mean, that's true.
Now, again, if he takes the, it's a hit back into hand,
Yeah.
so he can cancel one of the ground drains, but
But again, those drains are now only drains of 1 and 1.
Yeah, this game's not over by any
No,
stretch of the
it's not.
imagination.
Like Jared has, now that he's completed the Kessel run, things are a little different.
Yeah.
If he had Kira out, she would be doing more damage. Han adds a Destiny right now.
Yeah.
So, like, once you complete the Kessel run, the deck is just a little bit more powerful.
Good things usually do start to happen for light side here, and obviously it can turn a game that you're a little behind on into a little bit of a better situation. Of course, the flip side to that is if you just win the duel. I mean, it's
Yeah, if you just win the duel, nothing matters.
right.
And unfortunately, okay, so Mike is going to duel. He draws a 7, so again, Mike's going to win this duel.
Right, there's the 7,
And
7-5,
5,
yeah.
so that's a 12. Jared needs a 6 and a 6 here. If he draws double 6s, like, that just ties the duel.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You never know. He draws a wedge, so nope, no double 6s. So Jared's going to lose 3/4 here. That was a little closer, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew the 7 was coming up soon, but
yeah. And I think if you're Jared, like, you actually want to keep the 7 in there.
it could be worse is
He's
what he
gonna
plays.
play.
But
It could be worse to mitigate the 3 damage. Mike can't do anything about it, unless of course he had its. If he had its worst, that would have been amazing.
and because he occupies a battleground site, Kira's extra text doesn't impact that.
Yeah.
But that does also mean he's not playing a card from his lost pile this turn.
No, unless he's got the one that allows him to put a card back from a useless sister back. And he does have that because that's the Lando / Kessel run / L337 card.
It is he could be pulling some more stuff there.
Yeah. And now the other thing is, like, that's going to take away 2 cards from what Mike can do this turn.
A little bit. Does put him down a little bit.
Yeah, he does activate down to. He's got 4 cards left in his reserve deck. He's checking out his reserve deck here with the Emperor. Looking at the time, though, Mike is up by approximately 10 minutes on Jared.
Yeah, 28 to 18 in timer clock right now. Still plenty of time left here for, we're on turn 7 already. Okay.
Yep. It's a hit to cancel the drain at Mos Eisley. It was only a drain of 1, but again, Jared's just trying to mitigate as much damage as he can at this point. Drain at the docking bay. He'll lose a Pulsar Skate from his hand. Drain at Corellia. He'll lose It's a Trap off the top. Drain at the First Light Bar.
That should be a control tunnel perimeter scan next
to perimeter scan. And Mike should be able to. Yep, he's going to retrieve with Erica. Getting back a 5 on top of his use pile. So again, Mike's only going to have 10 to work with, but at the same time, like you said, Kylo comes down for just enough.
Yep.
Prince Shizor comes down if he's running him. I'm not sure who else he would run here. Maybe Asajj Ventress. But being that he saved 4, like, that could still give him the extra destiny. The only thing is, like, that could give him, like, a swing and an extra destiny, but the only issue with that is he'd have to lose the effect. So he's going to play Sith Fury to get a character back.
Or a Sing. Shoot Mirax.
I mean, he knows what his destiny are.
Shoot Mirax, lose 1, Mirax, draw lose 1 and draw 2 battle destiny.
Yep. Clear out the cantina.
Clear the cantina out.
Unless of course Jared has some sort of tricks here. I don't know what he's got in his 3-card hand. Yep, he does take Arsing with Blaster Rifle.
Or to deploy one to battle still leaves him a force to pay Applex upkeep as well. Okay.
Yeah. Again, first strike would be really big right here. Okay, Jared is going to use Mirax.
That might be the control tunnel vision.
Yeah, Mike's able to shoot, lose a card, and draw 2. Tracking around a 5 with the Force Lightning. I guess he's trying to bait Jared into using a card here, just to pull it. Like, if he's got the first, yep, and Jared's going to grab that. So if he's got the first strike, like, Jared can't play Hojix unless he's got some way of activating another force.
I don't know that that's going to come into play, but
I'm just
sure. First strike certainly is an option now that he's burned through all of his force. But I don't think we're going to see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mike initiates the fight.
Sniper's another card.
Sniper would, yeah.
That Mike could have in his 3-card hand.
Cantina Brawl would be really fun here. Arsing is going to shoot Mirax.
Yeah, just play it safe.
Yep, that's going to hit her with a 5. And Wounded Warrior, so her power goes away, game text goes away, but I mean the big thing is that she loses the extra power, but Mike is still able to draw 2, or Jared's still able to draw 2.
He is still able to draw 2. So Wounded Warrior not doing a whole lot in that situation, but it does take power down slightly.
Loses a 7 off the top.
Yeah, that hurts. Every time you lose a 7
I mean,
and then draw
Mara
like
is
1,
immune
5.
less than 4. I'm not saying that he could draw. I mean, I'm assuming he's not going to draw less than 4, but I'm just saying.
It shouldn't be. There's
Yeah,
a 5
it shouldn't
right
be.
there.
There's a 5. And a 4. So there's the first strike that we keep talking about.
Mm-hmm. Trying to make sure he wins the battle, get another card stacked.
Yeah. Make it a little easier to put Luke out of play. Jared draws a 4 for Battle Destiny.
He's going to need another 4 or higher to tie or win.
Oh, not enough. He draws K2S2O. So Jared's going to lose the battle, and he's going to have to stack a card, and he's going to be kicked off the ground.
Yep. He stacks the K2.
Yeah. There goes Ara saying Ara did what she needed to.
She's a superstar.
Yeah. Funny that we have not seen the Shizor's bounty at all this game. I mean, I know there's no reason for Mike to play it, but I'm just saying, like...
Right. Other than the first 1 or 2 turns where Aura was out, there wasn't much of an opportunity to use that.
Mike's going to keep At Black around. Mike has 18 in Life Force to Jared's 14.
He loses the comm scan from hand. Interesting. That's really, really interesting. Because he could have just canceled that drain, right? At Kessel?
No, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of a missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
Most people think of that
dodge,
card.
I can't think of I can handle. I think I can handle myself, or a force drain initiated by a lone falcon. That is a lone falcon.
Yeah, most people think of it as, with the Han, Chewie, and Falcon card, but it clearly works in that situation there too. And Mike will kick himself a little bit when he watches the replay later about that one.
Are you going to make him watch the replay, or are you just going to tell him?
I'm sure someone is going to point it out in our team chat. By the way, Mike, we will tell him after the whole match is over, so we don't put him on tilt for game 2. But
yeah, Corn Horn going down to the cantina.
Yeah,
and we have the duel again.
I'm sure Sam or Matt or one of those guys has already taken notes, or Drew especially.
I don't know. I don't see anybody in the chat. Okay, Mike draws a 4 and a 9, bringing his total up to 15. Jared draws a 4. If he draws a 6 here, Jared will win the duel. He draws a 5, so that's going to tie the duel.
It's a tie.
It's a complete tie.
Not the way Mike wanted to start off things,
No,
but
no. Like either option at this point for Mike would have been fine. Saves one destiny or one card in his reserve deck, but again, he is going to be able to drain for a few here.
mm-hmm.
There's the it's a hit. So Jared just keeps cycling around, getting that it's a hit.
Yeah, he'll get 3 more damage through and then retrieve 1 with Arica.
Yep. There goes Rebel Barrier from Jared's hand. There goes an All Wings combo as well. And the drain at the bar is going to be Thera Net. And Arica retrieves the first strike. Mike, again, with only 1 card in his hand, so the question is, what is he going to do this turn?
Emperor's going to peek and see what that is. Probably a 5 at this point, but you never know.
I mean, the only 2 people that know are Mike and Jared, and neither of them is saying.
Come on, guys, help your streamers out. Put some notes in the chat for us.
I don't know. Like, I don't think Jared's feeling very communicative today.
Well, it's not his job title, right?
No, but I mean, usually he is. I mean, Aflac moves into the cantina, blocking that train of 2. I wouldn't mind seeing like Dooku move over to the docking bay, not giving Jared an opportunity to run away.
We do know that Jared does still have the Melas in hand, so I don't think we've seen him go lost yet. So
no, we haven't.
He may not want to give that up just yet, but
yeah.
Especially because Jared can move directly between Mos Eisley and the cantina, so.
Mm-hmm. Mike thinking about what else he wants to do this turn. I think I mean, at this point, like, you definitely don't want to draw too much here if you're Mike.
Right. You're going to lose 3 to 4 strains. You do need to make sure, you know, if you have another character.
Well, you're losing 3 to the 4 strain, and then you're also losing 1 to your objective. So you're losing 4 force here. So that's going to bring him down to 13, plus the 1 card in his hand.
He does move Newt over.
He does move Newt. I do like the move of Newt. Like, this is where I really wish like Jared had like a Fallen Portal, Cantina Brawl, something. Because I mean, if you run in the risk of just running barriers and Blastador kids where they can be canceled with Blastador controls, it just puts more work to you, like onto you. And I think also, like, I wouldn't mind seeing Melas go down to in front of Arica, get rid of her, stop that force retrieval.
It would be nice. She is immune to less than 4.
Yeah. Like, if Jared's able to get like a 5 or a 6 here, just get rid of her.
What did he draw earlier from the duel? He drew 4 or 5, so that's what's on the bottom. So he could set up either of those.
Mike's going to draw. He draws 5 cards, so he's sitting at 12 cards in life force.
Yeah, you kind of had to draw there.
Yeah.
Jared, he's got to make sure. Yeah, he's got to make sure he wins the game first.
So I think at this point, like, Jared's thinking to himself, okay, I just got to get him down as much as I can. Like, especially before the duel goes off. Jared going to draw 2 cards here with I've got a really good feeling about this. Again, you get the extra card once you complete the Kessel run.
So he just drew the See You Around kid and whatever else was on top of it. Something else that he played.
And
oh, it's a hit.
Yeah.
You got the it's a hit back and the
And then
see you around
he
kit.
activates the last card. Okay.
Then the last card is the it could be worse.
Yeah. So he drains. But now if he deploys somebody, the it could be worse goes to the use pile. I think he's already used all 4 of his use pile pools from the effect.
Yeah.
Mike's going to lose Sando, Aqua Monster, and we must declare plans from hand. I'll lose Sith Fury as well. So he goes from a 5-card hand back down to 2. But he's not losing from Life Force, which is the important part. Jared. Okay, Jared's going to use his control tunnel vision to take a card out of the force pile. I mean, the drains are only 1, 1, and 1 at this point, so it's not a bad idea. However, I mean that if he moves Corn Horn from the Cantina, the drain becomes a drain of 2, most likely.
It does. Unless, of course, that's where Cornhorn goes, but...
Yeah. However, though, he does have... It's a hit in his hand, so...
And I'm sure he just is thinking about taking the it could be worse.
Yeah.
And then it's like, don't move Cornhorn. Don't battle. He duels. You negate the damage from that. He drains. He gets to hit the damage from that. And you just sort of grind the game out for one more turn.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to pay to drain Infinite Space. But at that point, it is what it is. And again, Mike has already stacked 4 cards on his effect. So, I mean, that's 4 cards less than what Jared should have in his lost pile if you think about it. Like, he should be... Like, it's better for those cards to be on that effect right now for Jared than in the lost pile if it comes down to a tie.
Mm-hmm. And being Watch Your Step, you know, Jared can also put 1 or 2 more cards probably over on a useless gesture.
Mm-hmm. Got a report saying that it's almost over in the other game. Let's see if we can check up on it.
MHT does have a nice life force.
Yeah.
Need 15 to 7, so.
Yeah, and MHT, I believe, won the first game.
He did. He won by 4.
Yeah. And Jared's taking his time. He's in his deploy phase, though. That's the other thing. Is like now. I mean, we're in turn 8. He's got 13 minutes left on his clock. I mean, this game should be over before a clock comes up.
Yeah.
But what's more important is he's got to think. He still has that 5-minute timer. Again, this is the final match of the OCS Top 16. The winner of this match will go on to play Drew Lichtenstein. So Jared just goes to his drop phase and plays See You Around Kid. Interesting.
Trying to save as much force as he can at this point.
Yeah. I mean, this would allow him to play It's a Trap from his lost pile. But you got to think, like, that's not what he's trying to save.
Yeah. He's trying to save force for... Oh, there he goes, moving a card.
Mm-hmm. Moves a card off the useless gesture.
So he's losing a card in order to lower the total there. So he's getting he's putting the dodge there, so then he can play the dodge out of the lost pile to move Corn Horn.
Not bad. And we know that Mike doesn't have the comm scan detection anymore because he lost it.
Mm-hmm. So he's got 3 force to play when he loses the duel for the...
If he loses the duel.
Right.
Okay, Mike draws a 5 for the first one.
Mike's actually hoping really hard. 2 5s right here.
2 5s. So
what did Jared put back?
I don't know. That's the question. There's a
There's the
5. So if the next card is the one he put back with see you around, I believe. Oh, he loses the duel.
so he'll
No,
lose
that's the
3.
one he allowed him. Okay, so I'm sorry. The next card is the one he put back into the use pile. That's the card that he used to draw on his turn. Okay.
Yeah. There's the it could be worse for 3.
Yep.
To suck up that damage again. It's just killing Mike.
That's what Watch Your Step does.
It's very good at mitigating damage for sure.
Yeah. Mike activates 2 more. There's the It's a Hit. And again, like Mike early on in this game just grabbed that All Wings report in and Dark Later Spin. I mean, he's got to be kicking himself for that. Yes, the other game is currently being streamed on Garrett Larson's channel. I don't have the link readily available. Okay, so he uses the It's a Hit to cancel the drain of Mos Eisley. He'll lose the It's a Hit to the drain of the Docking Bay.
There we go. Thank you guys for sharing the link. Nick pointing out he should have done the drains first before dueling.
Yeah. And Jared loses a concussion missile off the reserve deck. Interesting. There's the drain at the first light and bar. Jared loses Milos. He's got no cards in hand. Mike will retrieve 1, bringing his total up to 13. So I think Mike should win this by 11. Because he's going to get 4 strains of 3, and then he's going to lose 1. So 4 force. He's sitting at 2 in hand and 13 in life force. So he's got essentially 15.
Jared could stretch this game out a little longer than just 1 more turn, I think.
Maybe.
Obviously, he has the option to land the Outrider as well.
Yeah, he's got that option, but the problem with that is, I mean, he's lost the It's a Hit, so yeah, there's that. Okay, Horn versus Aplak at the Cantina. Jared's going to play a card with his objective. Assume it's going to be the dodge. There is the dodge, and it gets stacked again. And Cornhorn runs away. Yeah, like, I wouldn't mind seeing the Outrider land to the docking bay. No, Maul's going to move over. Interesting.
As far as he can go. So he's going to go over there and block the drain of 1 and potentially take away that option.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I like that. I like the move, but at the same time, like, Jared could easily battle into this.
He could. Worst case scenario, I mean...
I don't like Aplak moving over.
They're both
but
drawn...
I do like Newt moving in.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario in space, they're both drawn to Destiny. The Infiltrator gets reduced to 0.
But the thing is, though, that's going to cause, like, Mike another force loss unless he loses the effect, which I think is the right play.
It is, but I mean, it's either a drain for 1 or lose 1. Either way, you're losing a card still, except this way you're taking something with you.
That's true.
Maul's completely immune to attrition. He's adding 1 to each draw, so...
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, I mean, Maul does cover 7 forfeit.
Yeah. That's a good point. He'll lose Aplak from his hand, so he's got 12 cards in life force and two in hand. Yeah, I do agree that he should lose the effect here. Like, I don't think he's going to need it anymore this game. Jared drains at Kessel. Mike loses a Forlorn from his hand, as well as no escape. Activates one with wipe them out, all of them. We could see Jared just draw up because, again, like, Mike's going to retrieve with Erica, so that's going to give him another force back. He's sitting at 12 right now.
Yeah, Jared initiating any battles doesn't really get him anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting drained for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now.
I mean, he can land, move Cornhorn back inside to the cantina, leave the other guys at the docking bay in front of Applek.
I think right now he's thinking about what is the best course of action, obviously. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously getting...
Yeah, he's gonna be able to... So Mike's gonna be able to duel.
He's just gonna draw up at this point.
And I think that's the right move. It's just a draw up, unfortunately.
Oh, he's not.
He's not drawing up. Nope, he's gonna play See You Around, Kid. Interesting. And yes, I agree. Do the drains first, but I mean, first retrieve with Erica, then do the drains, then duel.
Come on, Mike, do this in the right order. Yeah, Jared's done an excellent job of really grinding this down for sure, especially after the aggressive start
Definitely.
that Mike had there. So we'll definitely see a
Mike's
very interesting game
shuffling up
two.
his deck.
See a very interesting game two.
Yeah. I do assume that both players are going to want to take a little bit of a break after this. Okay, so he does control. He goes into his control phase. He does retrieve with Erica. So, getting his life force count up to 13 currently.
Yeah, but Jared probably just took the It Could Be Worse back with the See You Around Kid, right?
Yeah, you got to think he did. There's a drain of 2 at the Mos Eisley.
But he's going to have to draw the 2 Destiny for the dual Destiny, which means he's going to have no Destiny left available.
If he loses from his reserve deck.
Well, even just the fact that he has to draw them. Because drawing for the Bring Him Before Me duel is
he's not going to have
optional.
anything for Cornhorn, yeah.
Nothing for Cornhorn, nothing for the Outrider either.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, drawing up there I think is the better move, because that took away 1 card from Mike. Like, Mike should be able to wipe Jared off the board right now. He's going to play Controlled Tunnel Vision to stack a card and to cancel the drain. Interesting.
He's going to cancel a drain at 2, then he'll lose from the used pile.
Yeah. Or he'll play It Could Be Worse.
He's going to play the It Could Be Worse to just cancel it altogether. Okay, not saving the It Could Be Worse for the duel.
Drains for 1 at the bar. Because, like I said, if Mike is able to clear Jared off the field here, he doesn't lose the extra 1 from his objective. And there goes It Could Be Worse. Both players with no cards in hand. Now we're going to see the duel. Draws a 4.
I think we're going to see Vader cross Luke right here.
Possible. 5, so it's 9.
We know Mike's drawn.
15.
We know Jared's drawn 1-5. Is he drawn 2?
Yep, there's 1-5.
What's the other card he put back? Nope, it's
Nope,
4 again.
It's a tie. Jared set it up for the tie. I feel cheated.
I can hear Mike saying, "You got to be kidding me," right now.
Yeah, I agree. Battle will lose the effect. Get your 2 Destiny, stack another card, and then just win. Yep, there goes the effect. There was a
Yep.
4 for the first one.
This will probably do it here.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And a 5, so it's going to be 15 to...
Corn forfeits for 7.
Or no, I'm sorry, 12 to... So he's down by 10. He's going to lose 3.
Corn in 3, plus the card he stacked was 4. That's going to leave him...
3 cards.
And that also ups the power of the Outrider one more because there's another card on a useless gesture there. I didn't notice that just happened.
Yeah. So Justin won by 3.
Yep. Justin decides sneaking that game out. Just he had Jin or so. Looks like that just Matt couldn't find a way to get rid of. So Matt,
So Mike will move the infiltrator over to Kessel, blocking that drain. I like that. Again, Mike will have... He does lose a card. He loses Tarkin's Bounty off the top of his use pile. So he's got 12 cards left.
right now Jared activates 3, drains
And
for 1, and
no,
draws up.
he can't draw up.
Oh, he can't drain anymore. He
He
can't pay
can't
for
draw.
it.
He can't drain and draw.
Yeah.
So he's either... And then Mike just retrieves for 1, getting back up to 13. No, just draw up here.
Yeah. This seems like the best way to get out of this.
Wow, Justin won by 7.
Yeah.
That's insane. I want to watch the replay on this one now. Nope, Jared's gonna leave 1, saving 2.
Maybe he just battles at Kessel.
Just to end it. Because Kira's there now.
Oh, yeah, it's not even going to help.
Yeah.
And Mike can obviously afford to pay to drain in every spot, but yeah.
Pay to drain. I mean...
Jared's still in his activate phase.
Yeah.
He's still thinking about this. Like, is there realistically anything that I can do that'll make Mike go to the end of his turn and lose 1 more card? But even then, it doesn't matter because Erica retrieved it at the beginning of the turn, so...
Exactly. Exactly.
You just draw up here. It's too late.
Yeah.
And then Mike will win by 12.
Which isn't... I mean, depending on what the matchup is, it's not that bad.
12's a reasonable number. Certainly makes the game kind of follow its normal flow. Neither player should be doing anything too crazy.
Jared doesn't feel like the type of player to do anything too crazy either. like except for the fact that he's a Philly fan, I've never seen him really do anything crazy. As he is going to just draw. So Mike is going to take game 1. We have Mike by 12, 27 to 29 in lost pile. Okay. 1 plus 12, 27 to 29. And that's the thing, is like the lost piles were really close. So it looks like we are going to take a 2-minute break. So everybody go grab some water, go grab whatever you want to drink, go grab a snack, come back, watch game 2, and we'll get to the next. Yeah, thank you, Garrett. But we'll get into our next game, and then we'll start up with getting into the top 8. So everybody take care. See you in a little bit.
Hang on, you're still, or we're still
Oh,
muted,
I'm still muted. You weren't. I unmuted you, but I left myself muted just to make sure that everybody didn't have to hear me for like 5 seconds. But yeah, we got game two, Mike versus Jared. Winner take all. Again, Mike is up by 12 after the first game. And just to confirm that Justin Desai advanced over Matt Harrison Trainer. So he will face the winner. Well, he will actually face Chris Werfs in the round of 8. Okay, so here we go. Jared on dark side, Mike on light side.
I believe Mike opted to go with Yoda communing.
Oh, that's boring.
We'll see if.
I'm sorry, Yoda commuting is like the most boring of all light side decks right now, but that's just me.
Okay.
Um,
Jared played a stunning move, I think, at our regional. So if he's playing the same
would
deck
you
again,
put him on a stunning move though? Like, I mean, if I'm Jared, I think Mike is playing Yoda commuting. So it looks like Jared is going with Hoth
Walkers.
SSA Walkers.
Okay.
So here we go. What's your take on this match?
Well, thankfully he's not playing the objective, which I'll be doing a video later this week because I do not like the new dark objective.
Why not?
I'll be explaining why in the video.
Oh, you could just give us a little tease. Come on.
We don't need no objectives. It's just it's too slow. It's way too slow.
Yeah. So bigger surprise. So you've obviously, have you looked at some of the games that have been played this week?
Yes.
What was your biggest surprise?
The number of people playing QMC.
You're saying that was bigger than seeing Gavin play Watto or Bill playing Court?
Yeah, I think those are pretty reasonable decks, but I think we saw what 4 of the 8.
5.
5 people played QMC. Like it was a lot of QMC this.
5 out of the top, out of the 16 players. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for Darkside though, like I want to say that ISB was one of the top decks. Echo Endor Base Operation, or not Echo Base, Endor Operations was another one.
Darkside feels like it's a more wide field. Like none of the decks really feel like they're that great. They all feel good. None of them feel great.
Yeah. And it's funny enough, I brought this up earlier today as well, where I'm saying that Lightside has much more at the top end of the curve. Like their top is just better, whereas Darkside is just there's more to play, but it's not like there's not a top deck.
It is a little bit, and it also feels like Darkside still is winning more games based on like recent averages. So I don't know what that tells you. Maybe the people are just better playing or they're more comfortable playing their Darkside decks. But
Chris, this is a family show, not you.
Yeah.
Other Chris.
It looks like also now Jared is not doing. Jared is doing the "You Cannot Hide Forever" start with this one, and he did pull Karita, so he's going to be playing similar to like the list that we saw Justin and Connor use, I think, at Worlds this year, and more people seem to have pivoted to rather than the version that I myself used at Worlds, and I think
You Cannot Hide Forever. I don't. With the Karita, so that way you occupy for a battleground system. You can start draining. Yeah.
Right. And they usually play the Emperor Shuttle package instead of just floating like Maul's infiltrators and things. So
which isn't bad against this dark side or this light side space, because you normally see Leia and ship, a very R2D2 in red 5, and Han Chewie the Falcon, which they're only immune less than 4. But I mean, you can subtract once per turn. The only issue is if Mike's playing X-wing guns, Jared's going to want to be playing Mithron Renudo.
That is a possibility, and you saw that Jared did just put down non-V security precautions again.
Uh-oh.
So if there is an X-wing cannon, which we do see sometimes in this version, it could just shoot down the Emperor shuttle
Like I'm almost positive I saw one in Mike's Euro Championship Yoda commuting,
Hmm.
and this is the first Yoda commuting that we've seen in Lightside Player Play.
Yeah, we haven't seen any communing thus. Oh, we saw Obi communing
Today was the
earlier.
first
Yeah,
day that we see a commuting, so
yeah.
we've seen two players play commuting.
Maybe it just seemed like the predictable option because it's kind of been the stronger deck. And we didn't really see much Hitco either. So
Nobody played Hitco.
yeah,
Like no Hitco, no commuting up to this point. Um, no 0 hour.
maybe they're
No.
maybe they're
Uh,
all saving it for next round.
yeah. What else didn't we see? No WAP.
Wow. Yeah. Mhm.
There's the Naboo Thief Palace generator coming down for Mike. Jared got Karita out, got a docking bay out, and got another site out as well. So not a bad first turn for Jared. He set up some stuff. Mike going down fast with Kit Fisto. I like this because walkers can't go there.
Walkers can't go interior. It'd have to be a Vader or a Lord Maul or something like that. Kit
Yeah.
Fisto.
Um,
Kit Fisto's the ideal guy to get out for two reasons. One, because he lets you start drawing cards, and two, if you lose him, you're okay with that because you can just stack
yep.
him on commuting.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, he gets you card. Now, the other thing is, if Jared's playing Enter the Bureaucrat and just shuts that drain down with drain of one, that would hurt.
That would sting a little bit.
Yeah. There's where you're looking for me. Going to go get 3PO with his parts showing.
I don't know if Mike was also running the 3-2 or not. I know some people do run it in Yoda commuting, some people don't run it in Yoda commuting.
I personally I like it because it's pretty good against decks like ISB, any scrub decks where you can just send any characters down the hole. It's really fun to do.
It's definitely a more fun version, but between those two sites and uh, the cloning place, Camino, you're giving your opponent 6 icons, which just feels wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the potential to do so much damage.
You do. You do for sure.
This is a family show, Chris. Get your mind out of whatever. Focus on the San Francisco 49ers right now. They're losing to the Vikings. Jared going to go pull another docking bay with Imperial Rest Order and Secret Plans. Where's Garrett to throw some shade on you now, Chris? Death Star 2 docking bay coming down. Masterful move. Going to go get himself Dejeric, a hologram, or an Imperial table. I was going to say Image of the Dark Lord is probably the one he's going to go get. And there it is. So that's going to take that drain from a drain of 3 down to a drain of 2.
Well, there goes your Enter the Bureaucrat.
I know. That makes me sad. Batmouse right now is somewhere crying.
For no particular reason. That's just what Batmouse does.
I like that's a good. That's that's heartwarming, Chris. That you'll trade a Niners loss for a Mike win. But at the same time, though, you have a fellow advocate. Well, you have two fellow advocates here. How can you pick between the two?
I think the advocate thing just cancels each other out, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is Mike's first day on the job. He doesn't even get benefits. One is also a teammate. A teammate who I can't wait to see this weekend at Endor.
It'd be a good time.
He's not my teammate. I mean, he's not my teammate. I'm a teammate with Garrett. So, Emperor going down to the third marker.
Interesting.
I mean, so that there's a plethora of Jedis. I'm not sure about doing that.
He's just committed to. I'm not playing the shuttle.
Yeah.
I mean, just tells you that right there. I'm not even going to try and play the shuttle.
I don't know, if that's a good thing or not. I like the idea of trying to go to space, but again, like you said, he's got security precautions non-V. I don't know if he's running Mithron or Nudo. If he is, he's pretty good against X-Wing cannons.
And it might just be maybe a Maul shuttle, and he's going to cloak it later. Maybe he's just, I'm not even bothering with space at all. I'm just going to try and get as much ground damage in as I can.
Yeah.
But
Point man to go get a card, put a card back. Seems like Jared likes point man and see around kid.
they're solid cards. They're 5 Destiny interrupts that prevent you from having to dig through your entire force pile to find the card you want, which you know the way the jump shuffles is always on the bottom.
And being that Mike has no cards in his force pile, he can't grab the Imperial Command. So Jared's going to go get Veers for essentially for free.
That's always the downside. This is turn 2, which means that Jared didn't have Veers or any of the 4 to 5 commands this deck usually runs in his opening hand or the first handful of cards he drew.
Yeah, and you got to think like he used the point man to go get a command to go get Veers. So
Potentially.
yeah, Mike doing Mike going to do communing things.
Battle order was pulled, so I mean, if you're Mike, you're okay with this. I think you just want to start putting damage through.
Yeah.
You can pay to drain, pull a system.
You're up by 12. You're up by 12. If you can get as much damage as you can, there's virtually no retrieval in this Dark Side Walker deck that I know of, unless he's playing like a random first strike.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I mean, I guess you could run like Erica or something to try and retrieve force.
There goes a crash landing and an Imperial Command.
Crash landing.
When was the last time you saw somebody play crash landing?
It's been a little while, but if EBO and speeders are becoming more popular.
I mean, Drew played the speeder deck. If anybody was going to play it for light side, it would be Mike. Besides Drew, obviously.
Mike's also known to play old allies, and they usually sometimes run 1 or 2 speeders in that. So
that's another deck we didn't see in the first round of the top 16. I kind of do expect to see it at some point. Like, it's not as good as it was, but it's still old allies.
Mm-hmm. So he gets the Camino, he gets the 2-0 out. He's got Jin.
And Jin going down to block the drain. Now, if there's a Force Lightning in there, that might be bad.
Emperor's typically in space in this game. I don't know that he would have a Force Lightning floating just in case. More likely Jin's going to get trampled at some point, but again, you're still looking at a 4, possibly a 5, and or possibly perimeter scan, just canceling the trample, right?
Yeah, that's a card I've been putting more and more into my light side deck.
The meta seems to have shifted away from Hear Me Baby and more towards perimeter scan these days, especially with Aplek.
I mean, even with Dark Side, like turn it off is pretty good. I mean, you have Lando. Lando's the big one. So Jared activates and then looks at his deck with the Emperor. No Force Lightning in there.
No.
And here we go. Lord Maul with Lightsaber going down to the Thief Palace generator.
You'll see what defensive cards Mike has. Blaster deflections and dodges are reasonable. But again, he's only immune to less than 4. I mean, technically less than 6 if you subtract, but okay, there you go.
Okay, Dr. Avazan and Pondabomb coming down. So, I mean, if you hit the Fisto here, you just send him to the lost pile.
He could. Not the easiest guy to hit. He's ability 7, but certainly within the realm of possibility for a deck like this. But you got to believe Mike, with 11 cards in hand, should have a blaster deflection or a dodge or something like that too, or even just maybe they're tracking us to subtract 1. Might be enough. Quite a mercenary could also be a card to cancel Dr. E's text, although you give him
there's a lot of options for Mike right now.
Yeah, you give him 3 more power if you do that though. So
Darth Maul swings. There's the blaster deflection.
Yeah. No Phantom Menace either, so take the easy swing, hit Dr. E.
Get him.
Kill.
I mean, he's still going to have his forfeit value, but he can't be used for attrition.
Right. You're going to clear both guys.
Yep.
Maybe he takes a couple cards of overflow, depending on the draws.
Yep. Mike draws a 5 and a 5 for his Weapon Destiny.
Wasting 2 5s on Weapon Destiny. Yeah.
Does draw a 5, so I mean he's immune.
question
That's the only problem drawing the 4 here.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be whatever the battle damage might look like here. Can he?
Yeah. Jared is is dark side, so Jared has the Lord Maul and the Doctor E, and the Emperor on the ground right now. Yeah.
I know it's hard to see. The names are a little smaller on Dan's screen.
And
All
he's
right,
going to subtract 1. I don't know about like subtracting 1 here.
he's trying to save.
Well, Kit's immune.
He's trying to save overflow. He doesn't want to draw like a 2 and then have to peel like 7 cards.
He draws a 5. So, no overflow.
He'll lose 3 cards, call it a day, and then get the drain for 2.
Yep. And Jared has to clear.
Yep. Probably lose the disarm because it's unlikely to come into play.
Yeah.
He's just going to top deck a few. Okay.
So he top stacks Odin Nestler, Where Are You Looking for Me, and a Luke Skywalker Rebellion sub. Yeah, I would have lost the disarm there. But
yeah, only Mike's going to hit and run with Jared's going to hit and run with a few guys unless
so he's
Mike also has
Emperor.
Barriers or dodges.
I kind of like Mike using either his Yoda or the Walkling here to retrieve the Luke, because then if he's got an R2 in red 5, he can go to Camino and just start draining there for 2, drain for 2 at the Naboo site.
He could. Usually there's 2 or usually it's like 2 Lukes and like 4 copies of the ship. So, and if he has the other Luke already in hand or something.
Yeah. Or if he's got Unita.
Also a possibility.
Yeah.
He's getting plenty of force. He's just going to start paying to drain again. Just keep that pressure on.
And Jin is just doing so much work right now. Mm-hmm. There's a force push and another Emperor off the top for Jared. Mike's going to look at the top card of his force pile. And it's going to go all the way down at the bottom. Now, if he's got a Ray here, that would be pretty good. Yes, this is game 2.
Could see a Leia's transport possibly to pull a Ray.
There's a lot of things Mike can do at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he really doesn't have to rush. Like, again, he's up by 12 in the first game. He's doing damage to Jared. Jared's not really doing anything. There's Han chewing the Falcon going down.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing like another Jedi coming down or somebody down to the 3-2, but
he might just move
Kit
over.
Have to. Yeah, or if he moves Kit over, I mean that becomes a drain of 3 now.
Mm-hmm. And that Dr. E and whoever coming back, Aplek coming back to fight, a lot less of a concern now because they're going to get dumped to the use pile.
They go down the hole.
Our community is limited to less than 4, but Yoda's hut can subtract 2, so.
But it's only once. You're only allowed to do it now once per turn. Like, I will say that I do like that change. Like, I'm so glad D&D and the competitive balance team made that change instead of how it was before.
It wasn't always once per turn.
Oh, maybe it wasn't always once per turn, but I'm saying like with the fully immune Jedi, that was just stupid. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have a Qui-Gon who's fully immune, getting +2 anytime somebody uses a weapon. Yeah, pretty good. So we are on Jared's turn. He's gonna have 23 to work with on his turn. So that's quite a little bit. I mean,
got a lot of force in a big hand, but he's so far, he caused a little battle damage to Mike, but he has no direct damage of his own going up yet. So,
I mean, if he's able to get rid of the Kit Fisto, he wouldn't be as bad. However, he still has the Han Chewie and the Falcon to contend with. I mean, the Emperor's essentially not doing anything on Hoth right now.
Oh, now Jared just verified his deck. Mike said, "Yikes!" Jared's response is, "Oh, hey, there they are," which means, is that where all his walkers are? Is that where all his characters are?
I don't know, but they're obviously not saying anything. Jared's going to activate one more.
Yeah, that means he's not.
I don't know. Like, I wish they would say something. Imperial
Yeah,
Decree coming down. I mean, that would help with the drain at the 3-2 site, but it doesn't really do anything to Camino
no. Comscan does, but yeah.
once. Blizzard 1 coming down.
All right,
We
we know
know
he's
he's
got the.
got Veers. I'm a little curious to see why the Blizzard 1 came down, unless he's got, like, if he doesn't have the trample here.
Well, he can start doing 1 ping damage. He can start, you know, set up the drain for 2. You have to assume with 12 cards in his hand, right? He's probably got a
Yeah.
trample. Now the question is, if the destinies, unless those were all the tramples, maybe who knows? Maybe Mike was like, "Oh, there's all the
There's a
tramples."
Blizzard 2 coming down at the Emperor's location.
All right, so it wasn't a bunch of walkers. He's got all those. Jared does point, Justin points out in the chat that if he had a low ability character like Grand Moff Tarkin or another Doctory or something like that, he could just throw him down to the 3-2 to block the drain.
Yeah.
Because if the character gets hit, he goes used.
But I think if you're Mike, you don't send him use or.
Right, you don't swing in that case, in
Yeah.
which case the guy still keeps his forfeit and power and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Erica
okay,
onto the Walker as well. We know that one Luke is in the lost pile, so not a bad decision there.
and Luke is usually in space in this matchup, so Erica
Yeah.
being on the ground does
But
help
now,
retrieve
but she doesn't retrieve on the Walker.
during your control phase if present at a battleground. Nope, she has presence. She's not present. She's present on the walker. So yeah.
Both players playing Erica in their match. Interesting.
Dark side needs ways to retrieve cards. They extend games. Every diff matters.
Not if you come down with a big beat stick and grab the gick. I mean, the problem with that is, though, Lightside has just so much resilience, and they have really strong characters of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jared is still in his deploy phase. No trample yet. I mean, Erica is just doing Erica thing. Or, I'm sorry, Jin's just doing Erica. Jin's doing Jin things. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Blizzard Scout 1 coming down. I like this because, I mean, that's going to help him. I mean, it gets rid of Chewie, but again, Chewie's up in space, so you don't have to worry about that. I wonder if Mike's playing under attack in this deck. Like, that would be, with all the Jedi, with the sabers, that would be a pretty good card for him.
Blizzard 1's immune to it, though, so.
Yeah, but Blizzard 2 isn't.
No, Blizzard 2 is not.
Erica hops out of the Walker.
Maybe realizing that she has to be outside in order to retrieve.
Yeah. And now Mike's not going to get the drain of 3 at the 3-2 site.
Okay, Mike does use the Yoda to retrieve the Luke, so very likely Luke going to space. The question is now, with the Emperor on the ground, if you're Mike,
yeah,
I think you put Luke to Karita.
He does retrieve Luke, so Luke is back in the reserve deck. So again, if he's got an R2, D2, and Red 5, he's going to be able to get Luke out. I like, you guys are making me want Jin, but I'm probably going to not get any when I go to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't been drinking a lot. My life's boring. Mike does drain with the Kit Fisto. Jared loses Darth Vader, Emperor's Enforcer, and a Veers. There we see him draining at Camino. There goes Kier Kanos and Imperial Command.
2 Veers, interesting.
Yeah, and R2D2 and Red 5 coming out. So Luke's going to go up in space. See, again, this is a matchup where I would want to have Farm Boy Luke versus Luke Rebellion's Hope. Like, I mean, just being able to get some retrieval in is pretty good. And especially where, like, Jared, I mean, his best space package, unfortunately, is sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, 90% of the time, this is the Luke you want anyway for most of the game.
Yeah.
So then you're running one of each and then hoping you can match for the one that you want.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little clunkier, a little less efficient. You just take the chances that you don't need to retrieve the card. And
Yeah, and Garrett in the chat points out 3P is on the Hunter and the Falcon, so that way he can't get restraining bolted.
absolutely.
And I like that. Mace coming down to the 2-2 site.
We'll see if he's got a
So,
lightsaber.
I mean, it is a drain of 1 there. I mean, Mike's doing a lot of pressure, a lot of damage. He's starting drains of 6 next turn. And the other thing is, the lightsaber doesn't really. I mean, it adds, but it
Now,
loses the force drain bonus. So
yeah, it's not going to do much with Decree out, so
yeah.
It just makes him a little safer in case like Maul comes back. But
Yeah,
something tells me there might be a dodge up Mike's sleeve.
dodge, another blaster reflection.
Yeah, he's just going to spread as thin as he can.
Yeah.
Just try and get as much damage in as fast as he can, because again, Walker's puts a decent amount of cards on the table.
And there's the escape pod combo. Jared's going to grab that. So, but Mike's not going to lose any damage to the effect.
That'll save him 2 well, 1.
2.
Well, he lost a card to do it, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's got potentially a drain of 2 and 1 retrieval with Erica. Jin's blocking the other one, but Jared would have to pay, and then depending on, that would only leaves him with 13 and then 12 if he retrieves.
And I think at this point, though, if you're Mike, I mean, if you're Jared, this is the point where you want to fry or get rid of Jin, bury her with the drain of 2 at the site, and then you retrieve. But then again, Mike will be able to potentially retrieve her by putting Walkling out of play.
Yeah, he's just looking to set up Destinies for a trample at this point, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's still in his activate phase. He's going to go down to 1. So now he can search for the trample, check out and see what that 1 card is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is it
a 4 or higher? Mike doing commuting things. Puts the top card of his force pile onto the bottom. Erica retrieves. So that's telling me that's not a 4 or higher there, sir.
Trample's most likely the card Mike would grab in this matchup too. Command's a possibility, but Command's less threatening if Emperor's already on the ground.
There's a drain 2. I mean, Jared does pay for it. He'll lose Ray and R2D2 and Red 5 off the top of the reserve deck.
Those are acceptable losses for Mike. He already has R2 out, and I'm sure he's got multiple copies
7.
of Ray. He might Walkling it back at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
And then he's got a 7 right where he knows
can track the 7 around, yeah.
Break Jin's cover, battle, draw the 7.
Get rid of the Emperor.
Get rid of the Emperor or the Walker.
Nope, Jared's going to come down to the 3-2 again with a Lord Maul with lightsaber.
But only 1 Destiny left. So he's assuming he's not going to get the swing. He's just going to try and draw.
I was going to say, I think he's just going to block the drain. No escape to get Cure Canos.
All right.
I mean, that protects from the blaster deflection. If he goes down to the 3-2. But then...
He's got to be present with an Imperial, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's going to put, what, Tarkin there, too, or something?
Maybe. I mean, if you go Tarkin, Cure Canos to the 2-2 in front of Mace...
Nope. He's just taking Cure Canos and going to battle phase.
Interesting.
Then going to move phase. All right, so he's just blocking a drain of 2.
But on the flip side, he's going to take 4 damage. Mike moves Jin Urso over to the 3-2. Seems smart.
And there's
the third marker.
Right, and there's always the possibility of a sorry about the mess.
There, yep.
We also did see, Mike does have it disarmed in his deck. He could just activate and pull it with Wackling,
That's a good point. Yeah.
and then disarm Maul, and then
Maul
put somebody
becomes less ferocious.
right, put somebody
Yeah.
else down, and throw down like a Padme or somebody like that,
Soak up
and just
some damage with the forfeit. Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah,
Unless Jared, well, because I mean, Mike's going to get the first action, so he's got to do the walkling, which he is doing. Here
doing that
comes
right
the
here in the
disarmed.
activate phase. Gonna go
Like if
pull
he's
that
grabbing the
disarmed.
disarmed, yep, there it is. So he's going to get the first action in the control phase. So he plays that. Mauls loses his lightsaber, unless of course Jared has the Lana Dobreed combo. That's the only card I think of right off the top of my head that he would protect Maul from disarmed.
It's possible.
Activates 15, saving 5. Disarmed onto Maul. And Maul loses his lightsaber.
Now you're also looking at 5 damage first from 4 strains here. So
Yeah.
4.
No,
Sorry.
4. 4. Drain it 1 at Karita.
Do I still think top decking the disarm is the right call? I'm sure he's got other answers, but
There
yeah.
goes Allegiant General Pride. Trample's going to attempt to put Jin into the lost pile. Mike does grab it. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So Maul does not add 1 to the Battle Destiny now.
It's weird the way.
And there's the sense on the trample.
Yeah, it's weird the way that Maul is worded. Everything seems to come after that, and they're all semicolons. So it's
Yeah.
not like they're periods, so they're separate sentences. It's all Maul's lightsaber does these things.
Huh. Okay, so Mike does have to lose 2 to There's No Try. He loses quite a mercenary V, and I think I can handle myself from his hand. Trample is grabbed, the sense goes to the lost pile, and Jin lives to survive another day. Drain of 1 at the Palace Generator. Jared loses a command off the top, and drain for 2 at Camino. There goes Kier Kanos off the top, or out of his hand, and Grand Moff Tarkin V.
Yeah, Jin's been putting in a lot of work this OCS.
Yeah.
I feel like she was a key character in the other game we saw earlier, but you'll have to watch the replay over on the PC YouTube channel for more details on that.
3PO puts a card back, draws a card off the top. And I find it funny that Jared lost the Kier Kanos to the drain, then he got back with no escape. So it's essentially like he just lost he lost 2 cards there.
I think it was kind of a pivot. I think he had an idea in hand, and then obviously things like with the disarmed over here, realizing maybe that's just not going to work.
Draws a 4 and a 1 for Destiny, so that's not going to hit Maul, but Maul's not really doing much of anything.
No.
I mean, Jared needs to draw a 6 here to get rid of Kit Fisto. Mike draws a 7. Jared draws a 5. If the wow, that's a kick.
Yep, that disarmed working overtime.
Yeah, that disarmed just keeping Kit Fisto alive. I'm wondering if Jared realizes that he doesn't get them +1.
I mean, worst case scenario in that situation, Kit dies, Mace just moves over, but still.
Yeah. There goes Lord Maul.
That's the second Maul down.
Now he gets his lightsaber back, at least.
Mike puts Wackling out of play, retrieves the disarm. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, then you get it back with the 3PO. Why not? There goes Masterful Move. Jared not getting a card.
Nothing there, but he did just set up a 6.
Yeah, he did set up a 6.
So potentially somebody's going to die next turn.
Up to 39 viewers on a Monday night at 11 o'clock. How about that?
I know it's true. It is just like in the movies, right? He got disarmed at the
Yeah,
3-2 site.
yeah. Kit Fisto had the high ground there.
Hmm. So Jared's down to 18 cards down and 7 in hand. So
I mean, Mike's down to 18 as well.
mhm.
However, he's got 12 cards in his hand.
And he won the first game by 12. So
Yeah.
he doesn't, he's doing solid damage, between space and ground and not paying for it and things. So
As he loses a Clash with Sabers and R2D2 with in red 5, both from his hand. Emperor's Personal Shuttle coming down
okay.
with no Emperor.
He did track the 6.
He did track the 6 though, and he's getting 3 Destiny. He looks like he's going to try and get 3 Destiny here. So that tells me he's got like an Admiral and maybe a Tarkin.
Could be a Thrawn and a Tarkin.
There's the Thrawn. I mean, I'm wondering if Mike has a barrier. And there's the Tarkin.
Well, that'll definitely kill 3PO and clear out the Falcon.
Yeah. Mike's going to use 3PO at least one last time this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's going to get a Destiny to power with the Falcon, and then he's going to get a Battle Destiny. I mean, this Emperor's Shuttle is not immune to attrition, so Jared's going to have to lose at least one of these characters.
Yes, he is.
So he does add a Destiny with Tarkin.
And there is a reasonable chance that Mike has a second Han, Chewie, and the Falcon.
Yeah. Because he retrieves the 7. Jared has the Imbalance and Kintan Strider.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like the Vikings upset the 49ers. Wow. Who had that on their card? Okay, so there's the Destiny of Power. So Jared's only getting 2 Destiny.
He doesn't have the command. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we know he's drawing a 6 because he put it back.
Yeah, there's the 6.
Which is enough to kill everything, because even if you subtract, 3PO doesn't cover it.
Yeah. And 4. So he's going to have 15. And let's see what Mike draws here. And who goes to the lost pile? Draws a 4, so I think that's going to be Tarkin.
Most likely. Because at least leaves him the option if he draws another command with the 3 cards in the bottom of his deck, he could get a second Destiny the second time around, but...
Yep, there goes Tarkin. And 3PO goes to the lost pile, and Han, Chewie, and the Falcon joins as well.
Right. Now, Mike does have a 7 where he can easily get to it. If he's got Falcon plus Rey, that clears the whole thing.
I mean, Unita does it, gets him back the Falcon.
Unita gets him back the Falcon.
Like, there's so much. Mike is just, I mean, I hate to say this, Mike is so far ahead at this point.
He's definitely in the driver's seat. Now, Jared has some solid damage set up that he is doing, though. There, Jin blocking the drain is slowing it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
Jin
again,
blocking the drain. I mean, the other thing is, like, you got to think Jared has, if he's got a barrier here that might save him, I mean, it can't be grabbed. Strample's down there. I mean,
right.
But we know that Mike does play sense. The question is, does he have another one?
All good questions. Jared's going to point man. Okay. See what those 2 cards are.
Yeah. I mean, he's down to 2 cards left in his hand. As he takes 1 from his force pile.
Picks the better of the 2, I guess. And
yeah. Jared at 19 cards in life force. Mike, however, at 18.
And the other possibility, too, is, Luke can make it to move over. The shuttle can't move away.
Yeah.
So even if you wanted to just eat it for a turn, you could drop Han and then move Luke over and just be like, what do you got? Not the most ideal play, obviously. If
Just
you,
kick Jared completely out of space at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got something in his hand, he's got a 12 card hand. He can set it up and just do it right now.
Yeah, Jared's about to lose 4 force this turn. 2 to the drain at the core, 1 at the generator, and 1 at Karina.
Mm-hmm. And again, if he has, Leia's transport and Rey, and that 7 he retrieved, that's a total battle destiny of 8.
That's a total out of 8. That gets rid of Thrawn and the shuttle. Like, there's so much that he can do just to get rid of the shuttle.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure he activated to the 7.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got 4 force left. I mean, that tells me that he activated the 7. There's no second Han shooting the Falcon. Yep. Tarkin's Bounty, Point Man, Blizzard 4, and Masterful Move all go to the lost pile. And it looks like action is...
Jared's just
Nope, Jared's going to congrats Mike on his victory. And Mike will sail up the last spot to make it to the top 8.
Congratulations to both players on making it this far and playing a good, well-fought
That's classy
match.
of Mike. That's classy of Mike. He says he says good luck to the Phillies in Game 7. That's classy.
There you go. Schoenthal was right. He traded a Niners win for a Mike Kessling win and advancing to the top 8 to take on fellow teammate and close friend, Drew Lichtenstein.
So let's actually talk about that game really quick while I have you. That's 2 teammates battling it out.
Sure.
And they played. So Drew and Mike played last year, first round in the OCS. Mike won. Do you see that happening this year?
Mike beating Drew?
Yes.
I mean, they've already locked in decks, so it's not like they can, they would have had already game plan for the other person ahead of time, assuming, hey, we both win, we're both going to make it here. What's Drew likely to play? I think we're going to see 2 competitive games like we saw today. I think it's going to come down to, a couple of Destiny draws here and there, people moving around in the right stuff. Probably have a first game that only, somebody wins by like 7. And then, game 2 still has a lot of life into it. And they're both going to have to play pretty flawlessly if they want to win.
Yep. Okay, everybody. So really quick before we head off, just looking at the top 8, we have Chris Worfs against Justin Desai, Mike Kessling versus Drew Lichtenstein, Gavin Ortland versus Timo Dussel, Sam Tashima versus Jeff Levine. So who do you like? Who do you like going forward and making it to the finals?
Moving on from here, I mean, you'd say Justin's favored over Worth's. I'm going to pick Mike over Drew in a coin flip matchup there. I'm going to go with Gavin over Dylan and Sam over Jeff. Again, those should be some very close games, but Gavin and Dylan play a lot, and they also play very, very crazy, sort of, unusual styles of decks. So, but I feel like leaning into the crazy favors Gavin slightly more than Dylan.
I'm a little surprised because Timo, he plays everything. He plays every format. He knows the game well.
Yep.
So I agree with you on the Justin over Worfs. I feel like to me the hardest match for Justin was the one he just won.
It's a rough first round opponent for anybody to have, for sure.
Completely. So, and then I'm actually going to go with Drew. And this is probably the hardest one for me to pick.
Sure. Could easily go either way.
Like, they're two ridiculously good friends. They know each other so well. So, I mean, they're both thinking of the, like, I'm assuming they might know what each other is, what they're playing deck-wise, like just the theme, but they don't know each other's, like, in, like, the full 60 cards. I'm going to go with Timo. You know what? No. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Gavin. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you and go with Gavin.
Okay.
Like, Gavin just upset Tom. Tom was my pick. So I got to go with Gavin. And Sam versus Jeff is just one of those, like, again, they're both essentially OCS rookies when it comes to the playoffs. Um, Jeff does have that major between the two. So I think I'm going to go with Jeff.
All
I
right.
mean, and that's the only thing is, like, I'm just saying, Jeff has won a major. Sam will win a major, I believe, soon. He has the potential to do it. But I think because Jeff has that experience with the major, I think I'm going to go with Jeff.
Jeff won a major?
Yeah. He won the first major he ever went to.
I thought he, I don't think he made, I thought he made the finals and lost to Joe.
Oh, no. So the major that he played in and made it to the finals, he played against Brad Reinhold and beat
Oh, okay.
Brad. Yeah, it was Seattle last year. And yeah. And then
All
he
right.
made top 4 at
Right.
Nationals right
Yeah,
afterwards.
I know he was on a roll there. He
Yeah.
had that Black Sun deck just churning for him.
Yeah. So,
But
and I think he's going to, that's the deck I would actually put him on, maybe moving forward. I mean, he played EOPS, so, but who knows? So, but I think that's all we're going to do tonight. Again, the Ender Grand Prix is this weekend, so make sure you guys tune into that. It's going to be a fun event. Chris, I think you're volunteering to do some commentary at some point.
yeah, I think I'm doing the first couple games that day.
Okay.
We'll see how get everybody off to a good start and then hand over the reins. I know Garrett's going to be around for most of the day,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there. And there won't be any OCS games until the following week, right? They're not allowed to play.
Um, I
I don't.
believe so. I believe there is going to be a break for the Ender Grand Prix. So, in between now and then, make sure you guys finish up your uh, bomb event games. Get those games in, finish them up, get to 16. It's a fun event. Good thing to do. Until then, and Hollow Theater will be at the Indoor Grand Prix this weekend. Once we have everything finalized, we'll normally it is on Thursdays. However, it might be pushed back to Friday in between the sealed event and the team event. But everybody, make sure you stick around for that. And then, like I said, Saturday and Sunday is the Indoor Grand Prix, last major of the year. So if you're not going, tune in.
It'll be a good time. Looking forward to doing some coverage, and hope everybody who gets there safe and has a great time playing.
Sounds good. So everybody, take care, enjoy yourselves, and as always, may the force be with you. Good night, everybody.
Cool.